Hi guys, and welcome to a Your Spending Coach really quick intro and tutorial on how to add a new organization in Xero. So today what I'm going to do is show you really quickly how to add a new organization into your Xero practice account. So the first thing you would notice is hopefully when you've logged into Xero, you've come to your My Xero screen. Now this is under my name. The way that you know that you're at the right home screen is this bar across the top is going to be green. If it's blue, then it means you're down at the organization level and you need to move up to your practice level. So the way you do that, if it is blue, is click on My Xero and then hit Go to My Xero and it'll bring you to that right screen. So what we're going to do now really quickly is just add a new organization. You can do it from the Home tab or you can do it from the Organizations tab. I'm in the Organizations tab, so I'm going to do that from here. So I'm going to click on New Organization and I'm just going to go through and follow the steps. I'll make the screen bigger. Now in our business we name the client accounts in Xero starting with their surname first, and today it's just Sam Sample is our new client. They pay their taxes in Australia. I'm going to hit Purchase now and we're going to choose the right account for them. So for 99% of your clients, if they're just individuals, mums and dads, and you're just trying to track their spending, you're going to use the Cashbook plan. If you want to know more about the other plans, either the GST, Cashbook, or the business plans, those questions will be covered in a different webinar. Today, best opportunity to get some freebies, so what you want to do is apply the promo code, which gives you 1 month free. And this is the promo code that we have. So we know all of this in advance, and that gives our client a free subscription until the end of April. So now we've picked the plan, we're going to continue. We're going to choose the billing plan. Normally you've just got one in each practice, so just double check it's the right one and you hit add to this account. And then confirm. Now at this stage the client's not paying anything, but because you've got the 1 month free usage anyway until the end of April, you've pretty much got 30 days plus to make sure that you've got it set up properly and the client's happy to proceed, and if not, you can go through and delete it, and I'll show you how to do that really quickly. So now it's time to set the client up. You can either use the Xero setup guide or you can follow this tutorial. I suggest using our tutorial because it's a lot quicker. So we're just going to click Next down here and we're going to get started. So it'll default to using business information across the top. So just here you just want to again check your display name, set it up the way that you want to. We're happy with Sam, Sample, Sam. The client is an individual, not a company. We don't store any address details because we use another system. We use Xplan to do that, but if you wanted to, you could store the client's details in here as well. And we're just going to go next, onto the next step. This page here is more around the financial details. Again, if you're just doing this for mums and dads, this page isn't relevant. If you were doing it for business owners, then you would, using one of the business plans, you'd put their tax file number, their PAYG withheld period, and their income period in those options there. But because it's just for a mum and dad client, we're going to hit Next. Again, Xero's got the capability of storing and creating invoices, but because this client isn't operating a business, we're not going to store any invoice, we're not going to create any invoices, so I'm just going to skip this step. At this stage, you've got the option to invite a user. Now, we would normally suggest, if you're outsourcing to us, that you would add us at this stage. So you click on Invite a User. And you're going to call us Your Spending Coach, and then you're going to put our email address in here, so ysc@experiencewealth.com.au. Because you're going to get us to do all the work, you're going to put us in as Manage Financial Advisor, which gives us access across the board. a manage user, which enables us to change the setup for each client that's acting on the account, and then provide support means you can send questions to us. So we hit continue. It'll open up a box to send an email. You can see the text is pretty standard, so you could just say, hey guys, new client, Sam sample, getting set up on Xero. And that's going to send an email off to us to let us know that we need to add ourselves to the account. I wouldn't recommend you add the client at this stage because you don't have all of their details set up. I'd get all of their bank accounts, their spending accounts, or their chart of accounts, and their budget set up first. And when it's all ready to go, then I'd go and add the client in. So at this stage, I'm ready to keep going. I'm going to hit next. So next thing Xero wants you to do is import a chart of accounts. So because it's an accounting program, they call it a chart of accounts. In our world, we call it spending categories. We don't use their default because it's designed for businesses. We're going to import a file from our standard account that we've set up. So I'm going to click Import from File and Next. I don't need to change any of these settings here. I simply need to click Browse and go and find our chart of accounts. And I know the version I'm using is this one here. Spending category simple, chart of accounts ready for Xero. Hit Open. I'm making sure it's a CSV file because it doesn't accept Microsoft Excel. I click Import. And it's told me I've included 54 new accounts plus 12 additional system accounts. If I want to see those, I just click View. And these are the standard ones that it's got in there. Accounts payable, accounts receivable, GST. That adds those for all of them. I'm just going to close that window. And I'm just going to go back and check that I've imported the right one by clicking View on mine. And I can see I've added take-home salary. So I've got my income ones above in the 500s, school fees, groceries. Yep, that looks right. I'll make sure I've got everything filled out. And we've got the right one, personal spending and our investments. So I'm happy with that. Closing the window, and I'm going to hit Confirm. Of course, if you make any mistakes at this stage, it's really easy to go back and change those. It'll bring me then to my chart of accounts screen, and it'll show me which ones I've got. Now at this stage you can tailor by changing the names. You can tailor by selecting which account you want to appear on the dashboard. And I already know for Sam, one of the things he wants to keep a track of is his takeaway. So I'm going to click into takeaway. And I'm going to make sure that it says down here, I've checked the box that says show on dashboard watch list. And that means that any time that I or Sam goes into the dashboard, they're going to see this account, takeaway, sitting there. I might also want to add a description at this stage, which is Sam might have a penchant for Macca's and fish and chips, etc. So I know when I'm looking at it which one it is. I'm going to hit Save. And then if I go down and have a look, you can see that description's there. At this stage, I'm happy with these charts of accounts for the most of them on the expenses side, but what I want to do is just tailor his spending category, his income category to him. So I'm going to change this to Sam's wages. And here I might say includes his normal income, not bonuses, but includes tax refunds. And you can change this depending on whichever way the client wants you to set it up. You can split it up, you can put it all together, it doesn't matter. And of course you can come back and change it at any stage. He also wants to see this on his watch list, so I'm going to click Save after I've checked the box. Now what I need to do, if I'm at this stage I'm happy, I'm going to go and hit Next, but Xero's going to let me know that I haven't added any bank accounts yet. So because I've already done my pre-work, I'm going to say, look, do I want to continue without adding any bank accounts? No, I don't. I'm going to go back up the top and add some bank accounts. So here it's going to ask me what I want to do. So I'll click Add Bank Account. So as I said, I'm just going to click Add Bank Account, and I know the first one I'm going to put on is a credit card, so I'm going to click Credit Card. So because I know I've got a credit card with NAB, and the reason why I know this is we've already filled out our client's credit card and banking details using the banking template. And we strongly suggest you do this beforehand because it just makes it so much easier to put everything into Xero in one go. So we know that the client has a credit card, 2 transaction accounts, a savings account, and a loan. Luckily, they're all with one bank, makes it nice and easy. And we also know the nicknames of those accounts. So he calls it Sam's credit card, his bills account, his spending account, his savings account, and his home loan. We've done our work and filled out the BSBs for each of them. We've got his credit card number, we need that. Really importantly, what we've done is made sure we've got the date that we know that Sam wants to start tracking his spending. So he said he wants to do it from the 1st of March, and we've done the work to get the balances completed from the day before the 1st of March. And that makes sure that when you're doing your reporting, you know exactly how much money that Sam started with and how much money he ends up with at the end of every month. So we know his account balances are the 28th of February, which is the day before the 1st of March, and we've entered them in here using negatives where it's a negative. Obviously he owes money on his credit card. He's got $9,500 in his transaction, his bills account, $5,000 in his spending, $20,000 in his savings, and he owes $450 on his home loan. We've confirmed with him that he doesn't have any other types of personal cards or accounts, but if he did, say a lot of people might have a Harvey Norman or a GE card, we'd put that in as a store card and make sure that we put the details in there, because even though they might think it's only on an interest-free setup, it's still technically a credit card, and it'd have a 16-digit number, and he'd have a balance that's owing on that. But because he doesn't, we're just going to delete those out, and we're going to work off this list. So really quickly, we're going to start with NAB, which is that bank that we know. So we just type in NAB, and it'll pop up. And there we go. Straight away, we know that we've got a NAB credit card. It's a personal card, and we're looking for this green tick, which means that Xero gets bank feeds from it. Straight from NAB, straight into Xero, which means you don't have to manually import them. Account name here, what you're trying to do is it's telling you as you would like it to appear in Xero. So we like consistency. If on Sam's online banking he actually uses the nickname Sam's credit card, then that's the nickname that we're going to use in Xero. So we just copy it, paste it in. You don't need to put a code in here, so we'd recommend just leaving that blank, and you just need to put the last 4 digits. And his is 5678, so we're just going to put 5678 in there and then hit save. You can now see Sam's credit card sitting up at the top. We'd go through and we'd do it for each of his accounts that we need to add in. So we're adding a bank account this time. We've picked NAB, and we know our next one is Sam's bills account, so we're going to copy that, paste that in, and we know his BSB is 123456, so we're going to put that in, and of course his account number is 1234567889. Ignore this batch options. We don't use that at all in the setup that we run. So you just hit save, and you repeat the same step really quickly for each one. So we've got NAB. We know we're going off the spending account next. 123456, and the account number. So Xero is pretty smart. You can just copy and paste this information in. Hit save. So we've got 2 accounts. We've got 2 more accounts to go. A savings account. 856. We're going to get his account number. It's really important that you get the account numbers right, because eventually when you get the automatic bank feeds set up properly and feeding through, you want to make sure you got the right transactions feeding through to the right account. If you put the wrong account number in for the wrong account name, Xero won't know, and it'll just pull the transactions through, and you'll end up having the wrong transactions going into the wrong account, and it will become a really big mess. The last one we've got is Sam's home loan. And chuck that in. Got his account number. And we've now got all of our bank accounts set up. Credit card, savings account, spending account, home loan, bills. So we're okay to move through to the next step. Scroll to the bottom, hit next, and keep going. So here it's asking for the conversion date, and basically all it means for the conversion date is what date at the first of that month are you going to start tracking. So we've already decided from Sam that we're going to start tracking from the 1st of March. So we've got March 2013. You can see here it says in the next step you'll be asked to provide account balances as at, and then it inserts the day before the beginning of your tracking period. So as we're starting on the 1st of March, we need the closing balances as at the 28th of Feb. So we've already got that information. We're going to hit next. It's going to ask us to put that information in now. We don't need to do anything with the accounts payable, but we need to enter the closing balances for each of his accounts. So bills, credit card, home loan, savings, spending. So just be patient when you're walking through these ones. Don't rush, because if you get it wrong, it'll make your account balances in Xero won't match your account balances on our online banking, and it's really hard to work out what's going on. So we can see, I mean, our spreadsheet, we've entered it credit, bills, spending, savings, home loan. Xero's got it in the other order, bills, credit, home, savings, spending. So you just want to make sure you're matching it up. Now the two key points here is you can see there's a debit column and a credit column. Because it's an accounting program, we want to make sure that we're matching the right amount in the right column. They don't put everything into one column, you've got to put it in the right side. So it tells you here, always enter bank account balances as positive numbers. You use the debit column if the account's got a positive balance, and the credit column if the account's overdrawn or it's in negative, i.e. it's an outstanding balance on a credit card or a home loan. So let's do the credit card first. Now we know that he owes 8524.25, so I'm going to copy that and paste it in. But remember it says always enter bank account balances as a positive number, so I'm going to go and take that minus sign off and then just push tab. I'm going to flick back over to my Excel sheet and then move down. Next one I'm doing is Sam's bills account, so I'm going to copy 9520. Now that's in positive amount. So he's got money in there, so in the accounting world that's a debit. So we've got Sam's bills account, 9520. We go to that one, put it in the debit column, and just hit tab. Next is his spending account, and he's got 5,000 in that. So we put that in the debit column as well. Then he's got his savings account, he's got 20,000 in that. And then finally we've got his home loan. He owes 450 on that one. So home loan again goes under the credit side. Take that negative amount out. And we're good to go. So you can see total debits is 34,520. Total credits is 458. And he owes, therefore, effectively 424,000. A really good way to check this, go back to your Excel, highlight all of the cells, and check down the bottom, and that should add up in your sum. 424,004.25, 424,004.25. So we know we've got the right balances in the right columns. So we're now ready to move to the next step. And we're done. We can hit finish, and it'll take us to Sam's dashboard. And you can see on the left-hand side we've got the bank accounts, his bills account, his home loan, his savings account, his spending account, and his credit card. They've got the balances showing in there. Where it's in negative, it'll have the parentheses around it. And on the right-hand side, we've got his account watch list. And the two that we flagged as we wanted to sit on there was his wages and his takeaway. So that really quickly, really simply is how you get the clients all set up in Xero. Of course, if you've got any questions, you just email them through to us at ysc@experiencewealth.com.au, and we look forward to talking to you soon.